All right, let's start 34. We are almost half of the registration, so good time to start. Again, welcome everyone to this fourth edition of Buffet. I cannot believe it's already number 4. We started back to 2021, and that was after the Thai workshop that we did in 2020. And and we plan to continue this workshop every year. It's a great opportunity to, for those of you who are invested in only one or two exomit, to see the progress of all of them. And that's also the opportunity to introduce new exomit each year. So going to share my presentation. So I'm going to first talk, and then Denis will take the second part. Can you see my screen correctly?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Okay, so let's start. Fourth edition of Buffet. First of all, I want to remind everyone that as we are a next science working group, we obey to the NASA Next Code of Conduct. I'm not going to read it entirely. If you want more detail about it, you will find it on the NASA Next website. And so here is your agenda for those 2 days in EDT time. You can see it's a quite packed schedule. We try to have only 4 hours both days. That's probably one of the last time we can do that, because as cuisine grows every year, we may need to have a little bit more time the next ones. And so yeah, here you have the different exomip that are going to be introduced by their own chef. And we're going to few of them as well that are going to be new. And each day we finish by 30 minutes of open discussions. So here, you can ask questions, having feedback for us and things you wish we will do a different way maybe, and all these things like that. And we are going also to have probably either today or tomorrow, Arthur is going to present his idea. So he submitted a JWST proposal archiving and how to basically optimize the retrieval using James Webb data by making sure that the inputs of people between the codes are coherent. So it's a very important project that's going to be within Cuisine. And so what is Cuisine? Well, that's this whole suite here of exoplanet model intercomparison. I said, started a few years ago. The chefs are myself and Denis. And Denis Sergeev recently moved from University of Exeter to Bristol. And before that, Linda was the second chair. And again, I want to thank you, Linda, for really have been at the root, the foundation of Cuisine, and for having put together the general protocol paper, the good practices to do model exoplanet intercomparison. And so thank you again for that. It was great. And Linda is going to talk more about the general protocol paper. It's been published a few months ago in 30 minutes, just after Denis and I, actually. Also, another change of leadership, we have Filet, so the EBM intercomparison. So our chef, Russell, is stepping down. Russell got a new position in Canada. So congratulations, Russell. And thank you very much again also for your great work at putting together this Filet protocol. And we already found some very interesting results comparing those different EBMs. And that's awesome to have you as a chef. And we are really looking forward now to work with Chef Rory Barnes at the University of Washington in Seattle. So Rory accepted this chef position. So thank you very much, Rory. And yeah, we're looking forward to this continuity here. And Russell will still be involved into Filet with providing, the simulation with his model and other things. Also, we have this new intercomparison that started this year, Risotto, focused on the retrieval. It's led by Chef Amber Young here on the call. And Amber is going to tell us more about it tomorrow at 11 EDT. And that's a very timely intercomparison because, you know, it can go from everything from James Webb right now to anything for HWO and different mission that we can think about. That's a very important intercomparison that has a lot of connection with Malbec, which is about the forward relative transfer modeling, simulation of spectra. And yeah, it's very closely connected to this. And so I want to mention that we had a splinter session at Exoplanet 5 that was led by Denis, and it was really, really great. We have a nice attendance, and here you can see Duncan on the right presenting Camembert and Estelle stepping in for Malbec. So it was very nice to have this in-person meeting, and we have some very interesting discussions. And one of them was actually Tim. Tim is also on the call, Tim Lichtenberg from University of Groningen. So it has been a few years, I guess, that Tim is trying to put together interior model intercomparison. And Tim is going to build a workshop that will happen in Netherlands to start that. And Tim reached out to Denis and I after the splinter session to see if that could be eventually integrated to cuisine. And of course, yes, because it's super essential. I recall like at several buffet meetings, we were talking about interior models as one of the next intercomparison. So it was great. And so Tim is going to tell us more about this project at 1:30 EDT here, just after the break. And so very quickly in terms of cuisine metrics, what we have accomplished together, we have over 100 active international participants. We have 215 people registered on the email list. We have now 14 papers that have been published, 11 conference talks, and 15 seminars. So that's quite productive, and thanks to all of you for your participation in those. And 5 workshops, of course. And so a few words about the cuisine funding situation. So from the beginning, we were funding through SIC, the Sellers Exoplanet Environment Corporation, back to 2018 when it was still TAI. And we got this funding renew for fiscal year 25-26. The only limitation is that for SIC, we are limited to funding chef at GSFC and GIS. And so we have been made aware from NASA headquarters of potential ROSIS funding for frameworks that will suit to us well. And in that situation, we will be able to do 3 to 5 years funding, and for anybody in the US, so mostly the chef and maybe the sous chef, depending on the limitation on the budget. So this call happens usually every year, around June, something like that. So even if we are now funded for the next 2 years, I'm going to start to apply to that one next year to make sure, you know, that we can try a couple of times and eventually succeed. Concerning the European side, this has been put together by Denis. There are potential funding sources for that through the ISSE international teams, the Lawrence Center workshop, which is what also Tim is applying to. And that's it so far. But the system of funding and proposal is quite different between the US and Europe. So yeah, that's how we differ here. And of course, we can have opportunity outside those 2 continents, but that would we need to talk more about that depending on the investment from other continents. And so I wanted to go briefly into a few logistic tips relating into cuisine. I think we have noticed that works well. So monthly meetings, they are really important. We have seen really, you know, changing in ExoMIP when the monthly meetings started. Even if they don't have to last 1 hour, it's very important to touch base at least once a month. If there is only small progress, it might keep things moving. Something also I've noticed that the most efficient way to maximize the participation at each of those ExoMIP meetings is combining a calendar invitation which I tried yesterday for this, but NASA didn't let me send 70 emails together. But when you have a smaller group, the calendar invite it's the most efficient because it just shows up to everyone's calendar, and announcing as well to the ExoMIP Slack channel. So combining the two provides a backup because sometimes people have issues of notification on Slack. And so every few months, we had now some joint meetings that have been proven also very efficient between Kodakra and Pi because they can share a lot of common input, configuration, type of planets, and format of the files. So I entered into those meetings. It was very productive. We had also that for Camembert and Mocha, and if I recall, at some point also for risotto at the beginning, Malbec and risotto sort of together as well because they share a lot of things in common. So we're really encouraged to keep doing those every few months and maybe just pairing different ExoMIP here that I've not had the opportunity to meet. I think maybe samosa and crème as well could work well together. So yeah, that's important because then we sort of maximize, what is done in each ExoMIP and have something more uniform at the end. And so we had also this discussion of having, buffet hybrid or virtual. Last year, we were in hybrid mode at NASA GIS in New York City. It was really great. This year, we are back to virtual, but the idea would be to alternate between years where we're fully virtual and years where we're doing hybrid. We don't want to do hybrid every year because it's a lot of extra pressure for traveling, which we already do a lot. It's a lot of pressure in terms of organization as well. So I think one every other year is sort of relaxed. And in terms of breaking news, next year we already know that we will be hybrid in Europe, and we had the confirmation that it's going to be in Bordeaux, University of Bordeaux, with our colleagues here that also participate to Cuisine, Martin Turbet, Franck Celsis, and Jérémy Lecomte, that will be the LOC. And we are going to do it the week of September 15 to 19, just because we are going to have the DPS EPSC joint meeting that's going to happen in Helsinki in Finland just the week before. So that will have already probably a lot of scientists outside Europe that will be in Europe for DPS EPSC. This will be the good time to leverage that and to just had 2 days of a buffet workshop just after that. So yeah, looking forward to spend this Buffet 5 in Europe. Buffet 6 will be virtual, and then Buffet 7 likely hybrid in the US. So we may alternate between Europe and US for a while. Eventually, we can think about other continents as well, depending on how the community is growing from that side. But here, mostly, we have people that are in Europe and US as a very large majority of the cuisine crowd. And yeah, and we can continue like that forever, I hope. And so that's going to be, I guess, my last slide, but I'm frozen. Why now? I just cannot move. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I think I froze for a while. Okay. Yeah, this is my last slide. So just wanted to mention that it's very important that we are transferring knowledge between what we have learned with CEMIP and different intercomparison for Earth climate. And we have a lot of researchers here on the call that who participated, who are even participating right now to the different flavor of CEMIP. And that's super important. And we hope like one day cuisine sort of becomes the CEMIP for exoplanets. It's a big ambitious task, but that's the general idea. And yeah, I want again to thank you all for participating to Cuisine in general. Thank you to all the chefs for leading us. It's really amazing. We cannot do it without you. And of course to all the participants, all the modelers. I know it's a lot of work to get your model, ready for the protocol and to follow it. So we very appreciate your effort here, and I think it's just great overall for the community. Thank you. I'm going to let Denis continue on that. I'm going to Denis, do you want me to keep sharing or?
No, I'll change to my screen if that's
Yeah.
okay. While we're changing over, does anyone have any questions or comments? So, Tamar, can you stop sharing, please? And then
Yes. Let me
I will
try
be able to
to.
share.
Oh, there we go. Is it
Okay.
okay now? Yeah.
Yeah, should be able. All right. So shout if you don't see my screen being shared. But so this just move it somewhere. Yeah. So okay, this is the current model comparison projects within CUISINES that are in progress and that are completed. Thanks to Vincent Kochman for this nice schematic. You can see that there are a bunch of papers being published from the Thai comparison, which have now been finished, or at least the first version of that in comparison has finished. And now we're at BUFFET-4. So we have 9 more intercomparisons that are going. You can find this schematic on our website and just peruse at your own leisure. I'll quickly go through this MIPS just to give you an overview for those of you who are not really up to date. But the one that we have finished now is the TRAPPIST-1 habitable atmospheric intercomparison, or TAI. It all started in 2020 with a protocol paper led by Thomas, and then the main results were published 2 years later by Martin, myself, and Thomas in the Planetary Science Journal in the Thai special issue. Yeah, and all of them have Lord of the Rings quotes, so that's nice. But besides the main results papers, we also have a bunch of papers that kind of followed up on our results, our findings, dug deeper into particular problems, or used other types of models to look at the same set of simulations, same set of climate scenarios, essentially, for the TRAPPIST-1e planet. So you can find them in this Thai focus issue in the Planetary Science Journal. The ongoing ExoMIPS are, as you probably know, the following. So with the increasingly ridiculous acronyms: Camembert, Filet, Creme, Malbec, and then samosa, mocha, pie, risotto, and karakra. This is just in a random order. Don't read anything into this, but you will hear more about each of them throughout today and tomorrow. So I won't dwell on any of them. This is just an overview. And so what is also interesting is that I put some statistics from the Google Forms that you all completed. And so about 37 of those who responded are contributing to one of to ExoMIPS, some or one or more model comparisons, and the leaders are Kodakra, Malbec, and Samosa. Interestingly enough, obviously Thai doesn't have many contributors at the moment because it's kind of finished, and then 33 people are not contributing, but hopefully will, or maybe establish some new collaborations. This is essentially what this workshop is for. And so what's also interesting is that many people are interested in joining ExoMIPS, and creme is particularly important in this statistic, followed by samosa, camembert, kodaka, and interestingly Thai. People are still probably wanting to contribute to sort of exploring that climate scenario, and this makes us to suggest that we can run sort of Thai version 2 at some point in the coming years, maybe with updated versions of our models or with more scenarios for the for the atmospheres, and so look at this in more detail. So just to again give you an overview of what resources we have in terms of CUISINES resources. So we have a website, we have a GitHub project, and we have data repository. And so some of you probably visited this website. This is basically where all the fancy pictures are, and also the recordings with overview of the framework, as well as schedule for previous and future BUFFET workshops. So this is essentially the point of contact, and you obviously can email me or Tamar with more detailed questions. And so if you go back, right. So in terms of the code availability, we are trying to encourage chefs who are leading individual comparisons to publish their code, their analysis code, on our organizational GitHub. So for example, the code used to analyze the Thai intercomparison and make all the plots is available here publicly, with all the Jupyter notebooks for to reproduce each of the figures in the papers, and some other useful scripts which you're all very welcome to reuse. And so this is kind of the idea of how each of the repository would look like once the protocol is being written, or the results paper is being published. So, and then finally, the data repository, which is again another important part of this framework, is what we offer to people in terms of infrastructure, and why you should consider joining CUISINES if you haven't. Is this repository where you can store data from your simulations and make it publicly available. So for example, the Thai data set with an old logo has this bunch of netcdf files from each of the atmospheric scenario and each of the GCM. So again, this is free to use, so please do. All right, so don't have much time, but another sort of news is that our framework paper has been published just a few months ago, and you will hear more about this just after my talk from Linda. So yeah, this is again in the Planetary Science Journal in the special issue. This CUISINES focus issue already has a bunch of protocol papers, as well as a sort of more specialized paper, for example, from the Samosa team. So check them out. And then finally, we have this map with a bunch of randomly appearing pinpoints, which show that these are various institutions that are already using our data, and those are sort of new collaborations that have started after, for example, the Thai project finished, and it kind of shows that our framework is growing and people are collaborating with the CUISINES team even beyond the individual intercomparison projects. So this is again a sign of the benefit of kind of keeping running this model of comparisons within this framework, which gives results sort of more recognition and opportunities to collaborate further. And with that, I think I will stop and leave a minute for the questions. Thank you. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, are there any questions in the chat maybe? Yeah, we're still thinking about the name for the tie too, but yeah, suggestions are welcome.
Yeah, that's always important to have all those scripts available, right? Denis has done an awesome job for all those Python scripts that really, help us to extract the data, even if it's a complex netcdf format, and then plot the figure, analyze everything. Hopefully, if the models have not changed too much in terms of structure, if we want to do another version of the protocol down the road, we can reuse those scripts and apply them right away to the data. And so really helps to keep, evolving the intercomparison and having the same sort of a structure and code.
Thanks, Thomas. Okay, if there are no more questions or comments, I will give the floor to Linda